time of the year. It's what you play for, and you got to feel reasonably pretty good going into it, considering that whether you finish the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, we finished relatively strong. Of course, there's always the last game that's kind of the last time you took the floor. But overall, I think when we look at the season as a whole, picked fourth, finished third, so feel like exceeded expectation a little bit, and still felt like there was some games out there that we had a chance to maybe turn the other direction. So yeah, I think we're still a hungry team though. When we talk about what our team goals are and things that we wanted to accomplish, there's still things out there that we wanted to do, and our team's well aware of that. In fact, in our team meeting this morning, Juliet kind of steps up at one point and says, this is that time of year where anytime you take the floor, it could be your last, so we need to not take anything for granted. Let's go out there like every second we're on this floor could be your last, and put it all out there. So it's awesome that I think our team is locked into that mentality that we're going to give it everything we got.
You played the South Dakota schools relatively well too. I mean, but you got to get past the first round game. But do you feel confident the way the team has played the last month, where you can maybe take that next step?
For sure, we've seen some massive strides in some areas that we feel like helps us for sure. And yes, we've gained some confidence that I think we can play with just about anybody, but we really are at this point. It's Omaha. There's nothing else that matters at this point, because if you don't take care of that first one, there is nothing else. And so we really are just focused on that game right now. And yes, we might be sitting in the stands for some other ones, but there's nothing our eyes are looking at other than that one right now.
Was there one game that kind of maybe let you see that the switch has been flipped, that maybe you turn in that direction where you're headed for a strong finish of the season?
I'll look at the Oral Roberts game. I go right to it, and I know that that's a game we lost down at their place. But that fourth quarter, we played about as well as we could possibly play, especially the last 3 minutes. And after that moment, I think we went on a 6-game winning streak until, of course, this last one. But it really felt like that was one that we said, this is the team we're capable of being. We did it in a 3-minute stretch. Let's do it for 40 minutes now. And I think that was kind of that moment. We went back after watching that and said, okay, we can do this. Let's see if we can make a push.
You've adapted to different styles, too, during that winning streak, too. You've been to play the up-tempo. You've been to play the rock fight games and all of it. But that's got to be rewarding and pleasing, too, right?
For sure, yeah. I mean, talk about Oral Roberts and Kansas City coming to our place. Those are two drastically different games. We literally played in the hundreds and then like the 40s and 50s. So, yes, We've adapted. We've played different ways, and that's one thing that I do like about our team is we don't go into every single game with the exact same game plan. We are going to kind of, manipulate things a little bit, move them around, and decide, what it is we think we need to do. And that's just something our team's done all year long. I mean, you can go all the way back to Wyoming, Detroit at the beginning of the year, and we're doing different things in those games as well. And so, yeah, when you go down to a conference tournament, you got to play a lot of games, hopefully a lot of games. 3 games in 3 days is the goal. You got to be able to adapt pretty quickly, and luckily we've been doing that all year long. So we feel like we can handle that.
Any surprises, going into the tournament for what you see from other teams? Anything that surprised you, or is it just pretty much you know what to expect when you get there?
Yeah, I don't think there's any surprises at this point. I think, you've seen everybody twice. You've watched everybody 100 times. You go down there, and it's just about who's going to execute, who's going to be a confident team, who's not going to let the light shine too bright and cloud what you're thinking, and just play. Who's going to be the team that's the most solid to their game plan.
With all that experience on the roster, all graduate students, all the seniors, how is that experience going to help in the summer tournament?
I think it's huge. We haven't exactly gone down there and been successful, but we've got players that have been on that floor. And there's a different feel when you go down there and play at the Premier Center. You don't get to shoot around in there. You don't get a whole lot of warm up, all the extra time that you might get in any other gym or facility, anything like that. And so just having players that have been on the floor and been in the environment does help. Because it's like popping a court out here on the Ralph floor. It's just a different background and a different setting. So experience in there helps. So we'll see if it carries over.
Any other keys or thoughts going into the tournament?
I think this is one of those weeks where you really just focus on what your team's got to do. Again, we're gonna do different things at different moments. I mean, from quarter to quarter, we switch things up sometimes, and so it's not necessarily let's drive home this one thing. It's about kind of getting back to what we need to do, being confident in who we are and our abilities, and just cleaning things up on our side of things. All right.